What up, turkey ticklers? How you doing? It's Friday night, and I hope you guys have been having a good day. I am here, bloated as a big fat toad. Bloated's not the word, just stuffed with food is the right word. That's it. Just had a big fat meal, and I can feel it straining against the confines of my human flesh. So let's share the link in the Discord and have us a proper time before I explode into the universe. All right, here we go. Okay, that's good. That's done. And let's do us some helloification. What up? What's going on? What's going on? Eng, Keebler, Millmaster, Jess, Rays, Corner, Teferi, Splendor, Yamagoro, Shelton, Kensuke, Heavy Metal, Joe, Error, DeVoe, Sum, Larry, Superbacker, Stormtrooper, Juglum, Zircon, Potts. What's up? How you guys doing? What's going on, Gooner? Hello, David. Good evening to you, buddy. Good evening to you. Oh, man. French fries, gravy, a little bit of chicken and some corn, and I feasted unreservedly. Tried Mary Brown's chicken for like the first time this afternoon, and it was so disappointing. It was so disappointing. I thought that it was going to be good, but Mary Brown's is like same category pretty much as KFC to me now, as in I'm not going to get your food ever again. Everything turned out to be pretty disappointing. All of it. The chicken, the mashed potatoes, the biscuit, everything. And I just went, well, that's too bad. Because I was hungry. I was waiting for that to arrive. Carly was out picking up some stuff for Christmas because she's a maniac who is always looking for stuff for Christmas. And picked up the chicken while she was out. And I was hungrily waiting for it and bitterly disappointed. I was like, really? This is what they're bringing to the table? I doubt it'd be much better if I had it in restaurant. It'd be a little bit fresher, but ultimately, Oh, Shelton, you playing in a draft? Have a good time, buddy. Larry got back from Two-Headed Giant Commander. I haven't played Two-Headed Giant in like a million years. Superbacker, it is indeed a big chain restaurant. Huckleberry, I don't know how the root beer is because I already had Barks at home and didn't bother getting a drink from them at all. Jess, you got hot sauce in your eye? Oh, I don't know if anybody told you. That's a terrible idea. Don't do that. Keep the hot sauce out of your eyes. Keep the hot sauce out of your eyes and away from your thighs is a common saying in the hot sauce community, right? The HSC, as it's known. The hot sauce enthusiasts. Hashi. And he. It's just he. The S is silent. What up, Ned? How you doing? Larry, Popeye's chicken's fucking awesome, so I have no idea why you're lumping Mary's Brown and KFC into that. Popeye's is like my top choice for chicken now, 100% across the board. And it's like Popeye's, Church's, and then all the way down under my feet, KFC and Mary Brown's. Mary Brown's where you go. Browns for frowns. Browns for frowns. That's how I think of it now. Terrible. Just terrible. Terrible. Yamagoro, never try hard at work, buddy. Unless they're paying you like a really good wage and you're actually working at like a job you care about, never try. Who cares? Always do the least, right? Unless you're going to be miserable doing that. But ultimately, the company doesn't care about you, so don't care about them, right? They just get taken advantage of and have a garbo time. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Troy, bring on the butter pucks. The only good biscuits I've had from any of the chicken restaurants is Church's. Popeye's got the best chicken. Church's has the best biscuits. That's how that works. Gooner KFC is kind of bad in Canada because of the missing trans fat. It's terrible, bro. It's genuinely awful. I haven't been suckered into getting KFC in a couple of years now, but every once in a while, like we'd go out to the movies and there's a KFC near there, and I would go, well, let's see if they're any better. And it just got progressively worse. Just dreadful. Just dreadful. Jess, you're in the middle of a decent movie. Have you heard of Jack? No, I haven't heard of Jackpot. What's it about? Is it a gambling movie? Larry, your guess you're not going to Mary Brown's anytime soon? I wouldn't. It ruined our lunch. It ruined lunch. It was just awful. It was just awful. Troy, listen, man, if you're going to dunk the biscuit in mashed potato, just eat the mashed potatoes. You don't need to, what are you doing? Don't act like the biscuit is medicine you have to take. Why are you even consuming the biscuit? If you don't like that part of the meal, don't eat it. There's already enough calories and grease and everything else. You don't need to eat the biscuit. We're not living in survival times. If I don't eat this biscuit, I won't be able to wake up tomorrow with enough energy to plow the field, right? Like, just don't eat it because it's not good. It's not good. Ganjor. Yeah, man, honestly, I have never worked hard for anybody because it's not worth it. The company doesn't adequately reward you. And if you put in a bunch of effort, they will just expect that much effort from you. They're not going to give you more. No company in the current era, and by no company, I mean all the shitbag companies. Obviously, there's a few companies that this doesn't apply to, but no company is ever going to look at your hard work and give you more, unless you mean more work to do. They're going to expect more from you. Pull it together. We're a family. Oh, well, I need time off for more money. Oh, whoa. What do you think this is? A family? You think we care about you? We're a family when it comes to you sacrificing on our behalf. Be on call 24/7 to only work 3 hours a day. We don't care how much it ruins your life. We're going to pay you minimum wage, and we expect your best work. And it's like, you can expect to lick my taint, you fucking clowns. If you think I'm going to work hard for you, well, you're going to find out the hard way that absolutely not. Absolutely not. Incentivize me to work hard. How can we incentivize you to work hard? By paying me appropriately. How can we how about instead we give you a certificate that we'll put up on the wall that said you did a good job? No, that's not money. Give me money. Would your company just accept certificates of doing a good job from its customers? Oh, no, they wouldn't. Oh, it's funny. You run this business for money, right? I work for the same reason. It wasn't my dream to come and fucking work here in your business. You realize that, right? This is your dream that I'm helping with. So fucking pay me more if you want me to give a shit. You pay the minimum, you get the minimum. Never work hard for anybody else. It's a sucker's game. You'll get taken advantage of. Oh, we're a family. I need a raise. Oh, fuck you, get out of here. And then, they'll call you back. Actually, you worked really, realized that a lot of people are garbage workers and you worked really hard, but, we just thought it was rude that you asked for a raise. Go fuck yourself, Just ridiculous. Habanero, what's up? Don't tell your boss you're here. I'm going to tell. I'm going to tell. Superbacker, you'd have to go to Canada to try Mary Brown's. Don't. Do not do it. Don't. Ew, you bought Beyond Meat chicken fingers when the freezer of the bag puffed up. Wound up throwing them to the animals outside. Beyond Meat is beyond pathetic. Why would you even, if you want to eat vegetables, eat fucking vegetables. Hey, we found a way to turn these vegetables into something that tastes like meat. Does it actually? Well, kind of. Now, the texture's going to be off, and it's not actually any healthier for you, but we can sell it to you for a higher price than the original. And it's like, wait, you want me to pay twice the price for fake fucking sausages? Suck my sausage, all right? It's not full of vegetable matter, I'll tell you that right now. But if you want, I can roll a piece of lettuce up, stick it in my dick hole, and you can fucking chew it out like a little rabbit. Beyond meat is beyond beat, son. Millmaster, you're going to make a trek to the chicken bar that people stand an hour in line to get an $18 whole fried chicken? Well, if people are standing in line that long, it's probably pretty good. It's probably pretty good, man. Gooner, you're going to make a proxy cube? Perfectly valid. I remember once upon a time I was anti-proxy. Not so much for other people, but for me especially. And now... it's whatever, man. You want a proxy, whatever, go ahead. Wizards of the Coast is so greedy and scuzzy that who cares, man? Who cares? Yeah, just print out your own versions of this stuff. Hey, we want you to pay $60 for like 4 cards in this secret layer. I think I'm going to pay these guys like $3 to make them. How about that? Right? Right? So... that's right, God, George, do the bare minimum, man. Never give the company anything extra. I remember when I'd get called in on like days I wasn't working, or they call, hey, people didn't come in and we need people to come in early. And I'm like, I'll see what I can do. And that was always the equivalent of, go fuck yourself. And you watch the people who actually go in and put it all in. And it's like, the company doesn't care about you, bro. They will grind you down to a nub and cast you aside. Don't worry about it. Like, we're not working at some company where they're giving you some big juicy retirement package and amazing benefit package and whatever else. Like, if you have a really good job, working hard makes sense because you're being rewarded adequately. That's never been my position, ever. Every job I worked was garbo low level. Like, the closest I came to having an all right job was when I was dealing with this one call center that specifically only dealt with charities. So you were calling to help like sick kid hospitals and stuff, which was pretty sweet. And I was surprised when I first got employed there because I walked around and I'm like, people seem happy and okay here. And that's never been my experience anywhere. Why are these people happy and okay? And then they took me into the one room and like, okay, here's the room where we have all the mugs and like, here's your tea, here's your coffee and all this stuff. And I'm like, wait, what? You guys provide, we can just have free coffee and tea and you provide clean mugs and all the sugar and what? I worked at places where like you had to get somebody to come and sit in your seat when you wanted to go and use the washroom. Like, it was pure madness and garbage. I worked in weird dark basements with people smoking cigarettes and calling about duct cleaning, all kinds of stuff. So the charity place was pretty sweet, right? Like, it was like, oh, I'm not doing some job that I absolutely 1000% hate. I didn't like it that much overall, but it was a step up, right? And then as I was like running through my tenure there, just going, I'm kind of done here. They started to make big changes to the center. Like, all the little like, hey, we're calling you up to have a meeting with the guy who owns the company and we're going to have all this free food and everything. All this stuff surprised me so much. And then we get called up for a meeting where it's like, all right, we're going to be taking all the cubicle walls down. And it's like, okay. It's like, so you all can be in view of operations. Also, you're not going to be able to have food at your desk anymore. All these changes that made it sound like the terrible places that I had worked before. And I'm just like, this is how it happens. Okay, I see. Like, it just went boop. And I'm like, whatever, man. Whatever. Arby's got tired about vegetable meat. They made carrots out of meat. Yeah, you can just, it's true. You can just print your own proxies as well, right? You can absolutely do that. That's another way to go. You don't even have to get somebody else to make them for you. Heavy metal, there's aspects of your job you don't like, but you pretty much have it made. Well, you're never going to have a job where you love everything about it. There's pretty much nothing in life that's like that, right? There's almost nothing in life that you're going to love every aspect of, but especially work. So if you got a really good deal and there's just a bit of downside, you're doing better than almost everybody, bro. 100%. Mailmaster, a friend of yours works for a credit agency and she has an AI camera that watches her all day, and if it thinks it sees a cell phone or you're not at your desk, it locks you out and your boss has to unlock it. I believe that 100%. The call centers that I worked at were absolutely dehumanizing. And it was crazy to watch how stressed out people who took their jobs seriously and tried to do a good job, like what it did to them, where I would just screw around, right? I'm really good at sales, so it was no problem to make sales, but I would just mess about on the phones and not care. I remember sitting beside the one guy, and we were just saying ridiculous shit to people, and then he'd just elbow me out of nowhere, and look, he's like, manager call. Like, the people would demand to talk to a manager, and we would just hand the headphone over to the guy beside us and just go, okay, what's this? And I'm like, hello, ma'am. I'm a manager here at Dickhead Incorporated. I mean, obviously, put the name of the company there. How can I help you? Oh, your agent did this. What? That's absolutely unacceptable. I assure you, madam, he will be fully disciplined. I will not stand for this. I apologize. I also used to insult people. I would insult people in a not 100% direct way, and then they would get insulted, and then I would act completely idiotic. Like I just couldn't understand why they were upset. And after a while, they would calm down because they would just be like, this guy's too stupid to have intentionally insulted me. And I'm like, I totally did. I totally insulted you. Oh, I took advantage of every side angle in the different call centers that came along and just fucked about for my own amusement. There was one center I worked at where they only recorded the successful closing of sales. They didn't record the actual call process. So I call up a lady and she's like, put me on the do not call list. And I'm like, nah. And she's like, what? And I'm like, no, how about this? How about this? How about I call you back tomorrow? She's like, no, you're going to put me on the do not call list. And I'm like, talk to you tomorrow. And just fucking rescheduled it for a callback. Now, the company can get a $10,000 fine for that shit, right? Like, because they're violating American laws. You're calling America, the company's American, the whole thing. They could have gotten nailed for 10 grand. So the very next day when that lady was scheduled for a callback, they happened to be actually monitoring phone calls with the client. So the people who were paying the call center to make the phone calls literally were listening into phone calls, and they called this lady back and she was peeking. She's just like, no, I talked to somebody yesterday and said, put me on the do not call list. And he said, we're going to call you back. So they took me into the side room to do the write-up discussion. Oh, we got to talk about what you've been doing, right? And so I don't care about this job. I don't give a shit. I'm just going to fucking screw with you guys. So whatever. So they take me back and they go, okay, we're doing client monitoring. We get this lady. She said that she talked to somebody named Mike or Mark, and he said that they were going to call her back when she said she wanted to be on the do not call list. And we traced that call to your station. And so I listened to it all. I'm like, let me get this straight. You're saying that I called a lady. That lady told me to put her on the do not call list. And then instead of putting her on the do not call list, I did the incredibly illegal just scheduling a call back. And then I said, I think I would remember if I did something that fucking stupid. And they tore the write-up or whatever, and I just walked out of the room. They just fucking took my word for it, ripped up the paperwork that they had, and I left the room. Meanwhile, I totally fucking did it, right? So I just screwed around. What are you going to do? Fuck you. This is a job I don't care about. You don't treat us like people. You expect me to give a fuck when I can just go get any other job like this, right? Oh yeah, that's right, habanero. The funny thing is, here's like, most people got fired easily. It was like, I was invulnerable. I remember the one manager taking me into the side room going, we had you sign documents when you started working here saying you would never do X, whatever X was. I can't remember exactly what it was. And I was just like, I'd like to see that. So she goes and gets the paperwork and she reads it out. And sure enough, when she reads it out, you agree to not do X. And I'm like, I'd like to see that. And she handed over the piece of paper to me and I read it and said, it's amazing how what you just said out loud and what you said to me isn't on this paper. And I gave it back to her. And then I grabbed the write-up, which I had totally just clearly slam dunked her on. You can't even write me up for this. And I said, here's the thing. I'm going to fucking sign it anyways because I don't care. And I pointed up at the clock. I'm like, the only reason I made you get that piece of paper is because it's 5 minutes to lunch. I don't give a fuck. And I signed that piece of paper. And the look on her face, it's like the managers just don't know how to process it, right? They're just like, what? It's like, you can't discipline me because I don't fucking care, right? The one manager's like as far away, like a little further than this board is for me, talking to her whole crew. And I'm hitting on this fucking hot chick. And she's like, Hatcher! And I'm like, yeah? She goes, do you mind? I'm trying to do my pre-shift. And I said, do you mind? I'm trying to pick up. And I turned back to the chick that I was hitting on while her whole team was laughing at her. You're not going to be able to build authority points by trying to chastise me. I don't give a fuck. That chick was my manager at one point. She listened to my phone calls because they come and sit with you to coach you. And so she's listening to my phone calls and I'm like, I'm just going to screw around. And I would make sales where the people agreed, and then I would keep talking and unmake the sale on the phone with her. And she was peeking. She's just like, what are you doing? You're sandbagging the sales. And I'm like, tell me what I'm saying that's wrong. Point out to me what I'm saying that's incorrect. I have to verify they want to purchase the product, don't I? I'm doing my job by the book, so I don't even know what you're talking about, right? Meanwhile, we both know what I'm doing, and it's a big fuck you. Leave me alone to do my job. Eat my ass. So when I decided I didn't want that job at all anymore, I just started screwing around even more, calling people up, trying to give them fucking credit cards, right? It's like, yo, we got this credit card. Do you want it? No, I don't want it. Bear in mind, our credit card is a rectangle. And they were just like, what? Or a lot of people just like, no, I'm still not interested. But some people were actually listening and were like, wait, what did you say? It's a plastic rectangle? Sure did. And they want you to push back twice. Give them a rebuttal if they say no. So my second rebuttal, if they didn't go for the plastic rectangle, I'd be like, our card comes out to you with your name on it and our name on it. That's 4 words. How many words is your card giving you? So I was having a hilarious time with it. Turns out somebody's listening to my phone calls. So the lady comes over and she's just like, get out, log out, don't come back for your weekend shift, come in on Monday morning, go straight to human resources. So I'm just like, I'm getting fired, baby, I'm done. And so I go home, I come back on Monday, I go straight to human resources, and I'm chatting with the HR chick for like 5 minutes, just having a nice chat. This chick loved me. She was the one who hired me. She already decided she wanted to hire me before we even actually did the interview. We chatted a little bit, and she was just like, okay, let's do the actual interview so we can get you scheduled. Like, it was, she loved me. So 5 minutes of chat, and she's like, why are you here? And I'm like, what do you mean, why am I here? I'm here because I'm supposed to be fired. And she's just like, I don't know anything about you needing to be fired, and even if I did, I don't feel like firing you today. And the other chick's like, yeah, honey, go out and dial. And I was like, no, that's not happening. Grabbed a piece of paper, wrote my phone number down on it, pushed it across the table. You call me when you know I'm supposed to be fired. I'm going home, right? And then I just fucking left. And then I just left. And like when the unemployment people called me and like, you said that you wanted to be fired or whatever else, and they said that you laughed when they asked why you were doing what you were doing. I'm like, man, I said a lot of things, and they didn't deny my fucking unemployment or anything. It was just like, I'm like, okay, all right, this is amazing. Just fucking around, not caring. I worked at another call center where we were collecting money from people for like their cell phone bills and shit, right? And like you're calling people on their cell phones, which spotty service. We're talking forever ago. Spotty service. So call them up and be like, hey, you owe us money and blah, 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 or whatever. So I started to just go, like, just make it sound like the phone's cutting out. Hi, we're calling you from blah, blah, blah on behalf of your outstanding balance. And then I just be like, charged to your credit card, right? And they're like, what? Ah, no, right? And then I just reach over and press the receiver on my phone. So there was a guy who I started there, like when I started working there, we were in the same like starting group, but he had moved into like quality assurance, right? So he walks up to me and he's like, caught you. And my policy is always, caught me doing what? I don't even know what you're talking about. And he started going, And I was just like, oh shit, you know? And he said, you're lucky. You're lucky that their cell phone cut out because we don't grade the calls where the cell phone cut out. And I just went, the cell phone didn't cut out. I pressed the receiver, which is not how you normally hang up your calls. You have to log it through the system. But I was just reaching over and pressing the thing on the phone. So that just turned into, so let me get this straight. I can do whatever I want. And as long as I press this button here, you can't quality assurance me on it. I didn't say any of this out loud, right? I just was like, holy shit. So then I just amped it right up. I started saying absurd shit to people. I was like, yo, you interested in buying a cell phone that comes with a pencil sharpener built in? I told them they could go down to the phone store and they could have, it's like, head on down to the Sprint shop. They'll spray paint your phone any color you want for $5. I'm like, what? Really? Any color you want. This is such a common thing. You don't even have to explain why you're there. Just walk into the store, put your phone down on the counter, slap down $5, say a color. Just be like, red, blue. They will know exactly what you want, right? I just screwed around so much. So much. So that was funny. And then another place that I worked at, I basically would hop into they had like 7 different locations. And the place that managed all the resources was in the Philippines. So if they wanted to like get you to do something, they had to call your phone directly, which means they had to figure out what building you were in. And if they couldn't figure it out, they had to call your manager in whatever building. So the thing was, they could only access you if you were in the new system. If you were in the old system, they couldn't actually call you directly. So they would have to call the place you were, find your manager, get him to come get you. But I started work at 4 o'clock. My manager stopped work at 5 o'clock. And there was no night manager. For like years, they had no night manager. So I was unmanaged for most of my shift. So they would originally, like, I never wanted to go into the old system because it was Comcast. And it was the worst. Like it was verbatim, which means you have to go word for word on the script. And you were calling people up to schedule setting up their internet. But like everybody already had their internet set up. Everybody. Every single person. I never talked to anybody who didn't have their internet set up. Imagine you already had your internet set up and then someone called you and was like, hi, I'm calling from the cable company to set up your internet. It's like, what are you talking about? It's already installed and you're calling to set up an installation appointment? What are you, an idiot? So you would barely ever talk to anybody and you'd get an answering machine. And the way the system was supposed to work is you leave a message and then after you've logged it as an answering machine and left a message, then they take it out of the list for the day and don't call it back. But it wasn't programmed that way. If you got an answering machine, it would kick it back into the system 4 more times. It had to be logged as an answering machine 5 different times. So you'd talk to people who were like, what is going on? I came home and there's 5 messages from you guys and each one's the same. Hi, it's Becky from Comcast. Hi, it's Mike from Comcast. Word for word, they're exactly the same. You guys, five messages on my answering machine to install the internet I already have installed. What's going on? So I just went, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to leave answering machine messages anymore. But they told us, you have to go verbatim. You have to go verbatim. So I stopped leaving answering machine messages because I'm like, I'm just doing these people a favor. They're still going to end up getting messages. Screw it. So nobody ever came and said anything about it. And I'm like, well, if nobody's ever going to come and talk to me about this, does that mean nobody's listening? And if nobody's listening, do I have to talk to anybody? So I just stopped talking to people on the phone calls. I would have my headphones on, right? I'd put my little headset on, but I would like shift it up like this, so it wasn't like if you walked by, it'd look like I was wearing my headphone and doing my job. But ultimately, couldn't really hear anything other than people going, "Hello, hello, hello," right? And those people I would just hang up on, but other people I would just leave it. So they never came and said anything to me, and I just went, well, if I don't have to talk, do I have to be here? So when they put me into those old systems to do Comcast, I would instead leave work for hours. Like hours. I would go home, smoke a fatty, wander around, and then show back up right before lunch. And I kept doing that when they put me into Comcast. And so then it started to be like, oh, they're calling people to go into the old system. I hope they pick me. And then after a little bit, I went, wait, why do I have to wait for them to pick me? I know how to log into the old system. Why don't I just log into the old system? So that's what I would do. If I saw anybody getting called for it, I would log into that system. And then they couldn't get me out of it unless they could find a manager to come and get me out. But I didn't have a manager all night, so they couldn't get me out of it. So once I was in there, and I wouldn't work. So I just kept doing that. And it got to the point where I didn't wait for them to call anybody. I just logged myself into it. And I kept doing that. And I never got caught. I never got disciplined. None of it. Kanzuki, why did I keep getting jobs at call centers? Because I didn't have any fucking qualifications for other jobs. I didn't have any faith or belief in myself. And it was an easy to get job that paid the tiniest bit more than fucking minimum wage. And I needed drug money. So I needed to pay rent. That's why. That's why, buddy. Because young Mike didn't fucking shoot for the stars. He aimed to fucking lay in the gutter. All right? All right? All right? So yeah, the call center stuff was abysmal. Abysmal. You just, I mean, you do what you know. And honestly, the city that I'm living in, not a city of massive opportunity for fucking good jobs, right? Once upon a time, they had auto manufacturing, but that fell apart. And then the biggest industries in the city was like call centers. That's it, man. It's an easy to get job that you could get quickly. I had no savings, so money had to keep coming in. You know what I mean? I was just trying to get by, bro. Hinoko, it's not amazing that I managed to find so many call centers. It's fucking sad, bro. Those places all sucked. The people around me, they listened to all the lies they were told, and they worked as hard as they could, and they got all stressed out about it and shit. And they tended to get in more trouble, too. Managers like to manage people that make them feel like they have power. And you take me in the back, and I'm going to basically turn the conversation around on you, and I also don't care. So your whole, like, fear of losing your job is like, I don't care. I can get the exact same job in X number of places. This place isn't special to me. I don't have anybody who depends on me. I don't give a fuck. So, your move, bitch, right? You need bodies and seats. I know the game. At the end of the day, shut up and fire me or fuck off. Those are your two options. No little combination of words is going to turn me into a good worker bee, because this place is a fucking slave shop and I'm not an idiot, okay? I know that previous generations were like, work hard and the company will take care of you. That's the shit that my fucking parents tried to teach me. But I knew it was a lie when they said it. They didn't know it was a lie. My parents didn't know it was a lie, but companies bank on that. Work hard and you'll get recognized and rewarded. No, you won't. You'll just get taken advantage of. You'll work hard and you will get nothing extra for your efforts. That's it. That's the cold, hard reality. So yeah, man, it's like whatever. Get a job at a fucking call center. You got 2 weeks of fucking free training where you can dick around, make new friends, find new chicks to bang, find new fucking dealers, you know? Like... So yeah, man, those places were awful. Don't recommend it. But yeah, man, I was the same way a lot of people are, just trying to get by, just trying to get through life. Bob Falcon, you work hard and get extra paychecks all the time because your boss knows you do a good job. But on top of that, the business model of where you work isn't about squeezing everything you can out of people and giving them nothing back, right? Like, you're not working at a base level, rob you of your time, rob you of your dignity, and underpay you style business. And that's not the norm. So you're lucky, man. It's lucky. Well, I mean, obviously, you work hard as well. I know that, but you're lucky. So yeah, man, those places. I just screwed around and had my own laughs out of it because I'm not going to take it seriously. I can't. I just don't care. You know? It's like, yeah, I'm just here for a paycheck. I don't care about this company like at all. You know how you don't care about me at all? That's how I feel about you guys, 100%. Like, you genuinely don't care what happens to me. You just want what you want. And it's like, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I'll never care about your stupid business and the stuff that you're pulling here. So, whatever. But there's a lot of chicks for me to hit on, and that works out quite well for me. It's like, hey, you're stuck in this seat beside me for like 8 hours. That's quite a long time to be exposed to the Hatcher charm. You know what I mean? I'm going to win you over. I'm going to win you over real easy. Do you want to be bored at work? Or do you want to have a fucking laugh and a good time with Hatcher, baby? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying I scored a lot of tail from call centers. I picked up a lot of bitches from call centers. And there was jealous dudes sitting around me that sometimes would report me to HR and they'd be like, he's harassing the women. And yet when they went around and asked all the women, nope, nobody's harassed. Was the stuff I was saying, I mean, yeah, if it was unwelcomed, it would totally be considered harassment. Talking about their titties, telling the one chick she's got an ass you could use as a billboard, getting handsy, all that goodness. But it was all welcomed. The women all fucking enjoyed it. Because, first of all, I'm not a troglodyte idiot who's going to get fucking handsy with a chick who ain't into it. They send you signals. It's very clear. But on top of that, I'm a lot of fun. Like a hell of a lot of fun. And I will crack jokes and make you smile. There was only one chick where it went badly. Oh, hold on, Bo Falcon! Super chat set, which is the reason. This is the reason that he can often pay it forward to me. Well, Bo Falcon, thanks, buddy. You're definitely one of the big reasons that I get to do stuff like this. Now you lower to the board, and we're gonna go for a wheel spin, and then we will talk about the biggest disappointment in terms of ladies when it came to it's over here. When it came to the call center, we will talk about the ridiculous situation that I ended up in where the universe set me up and then slapped me down. So disappointing. All right, let's go. What up, Super Duper? Here we go, Bo! Oh! Bo Falcon, you fucking crusty crustacean! You're as fucking lovable as Ursula from The Little Mermaid. Do, you suck dicks. Do, and you're bad at it. Under the balls. Bo's under the balls. I gotta take singing lessons so I can do this properly. So I can tell you to go fuck yourself. Songulaculary. Nope, that's not a word. Whatever. Fuck you, buddy. Fuck you, Bo Falcon, you fucking goober. You fucking curb-licking goofbag. You weird-nosed McGillicuddy. You turkey nutsucker. You suck a fat, unwashed bag, Bo Falcon. Okay, so I'm working at this one center, and when they have new employees come in, they will sit beside experienced employees who will show them the ropes or whatever. So they were sending people to sit down, and I saw this smoking hot blonde. I mean, smoking hot blonde with a ridiculous body. And she was in line, and I did like a head count and realized, oh, she's going to end up sitting right behind me, and I'm going to get this fucking old dude. So I like locked eyes on the guy in charge of the trainees. I looked at him, and I'm just staring at him, and he just looks at me, he's like, and then I like nod at her, and I'm like, and he goes, and then I see him put his fucking hand on the old guy who was going to sit with me and point him to the seat behind me, and then send the blonde over to me, and I'm like, oh, thank you, sir. You know, like, time to work my magic, but I didn't even need to work my magic. Sometimes the fish jumps right in the fucking boat. I didn't have to hit her with the paddle or nothing. So she starts listening to the calls, right? And like, this is the only time I've ever done this in my life. I've done it one time and never again. I laughed at a very unfunny joke that this chick made because she was so fucking hot. I just laughed at her stupid joke. It didn't even make sense. When I heard it, my brain was like, that's a really dumb joke, but those titties ain't dumb. So I just laughed at that stupid joke. And then I'm making phone calls, and like 2 phone calls in, she's like, if you make a sale in the next 3 calls, I'll let you touch my tits. And I'm just like, what is going on? It's never this easy. It's never this easy. So I'm just like, okay. And then I couldn't make a sale. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? But she kept extending the amount of calls. And I was like, oh, no, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's on like fucking Donkey Kong. This shit's gonna happen. So get to her place. Get her clothes off. And holy fucking shit. Amazing. She was super, super hot. And then I went to take my fucking socks off, right? I got everything else off or whatever. I go to take my socks off, and she's just like, don't take your socks off. And I was like, what? She's like, I don't like feet. And I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to put my feet in you. I don't give a flying fuck. I don't care if I got to wear socks on my hands. Whatevs. Okay, weirdo. I'll leave my socks on, right? So I'm sitting there. Most smoking hot chick I had ever seen in my life. They're wearing nothing in front of me. And she goes, do you want to see something? Hell yeah, I want to see something, honey. Are you kidding me? Why wouldn't I want to see something? Then I found out why I wouldn't want to see something. She reaches over onto the fucking drawer beside her, picks up this fucking Kool-Aid Man mug, and then fucking squats over it and starts pissing in the mug. And I just went, oh no. Oh, no, 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 no. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm here at the finish line. Race is over. I'm out. I quit. I'm done. So I was just like, oh, sorry, what day is it? What time is it? Sorry, I just realized I have something I have to go and do. Literally, just as like getting my clothes on, just like, I can't believe this shit just happened, man. I can't believe this bitch is a mug pisser. The poor Kool-Aid Man. The poor Kool-Aid Man went from, oh yeah, to, oh no. And I'm like, oh, mama, no. Why? Why? Right? So that would have been the end of it. It was the end of it for any chance of me hooking up with her. That wasn't going to happen. There was some dude I worked with, when I told him that story, he's like, I would have drank it. I'm like, yeah, but you're a fucking freak, dude. When that one new hot chick started working here, you'd like, I'd drink a shot of piss to get to bang her. And I was just like, you just want to drink that? You're fucking gross. What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? Why would you even fucking say that, dude? Who fucking thinks like that? What is wrong with you? So, of course, he's going to be on board with that shit. But I'm like, I ain't a fucking degenerate, dude. No, sorry. I didn't realize that I had a line, really, because I hadn't encountered anybody who pushed me over that line. But holy fucking shit, honey, you sure as hell did. So, flash forward to like, I don't know, a year later or whatever. And I'm out drinking with some of my coworkers. And we want to go and have a smoke. But nobody has a working lighter. So the one chick goes, I got a lighter back in my place. We can go and get it. Here's the thing. I live in a building that has a ton of rooms for people. And there is a weird chick who lives in our building, right? And then it's like, weird how? And she's like, if you come in, she might try and show you pictures, because I bring people over and she shows them pictures of her humping doorknobs and bed stands and shit. And I'm dying laughing. I'm like, are you kidding me? Okay, let's go. Yeah, no, let's go. Of course I'm going to go where some crazy chick might come out and start showing you this stuff, right? I can remember this so vividly. We get to this place and we're going up the grand stairway or whatever. And it turns out the crazy chick's door is right up at the top of the stairs. So she hears people coming up the stairs, opens her door, right? She opens her door. First things out of her mouth, "Hi, Mike." And like the one guy who was with us just went, and he just started laughing. And he said, "I'm sorry." And he just ran. He just ran down the stairs and out of the building. And I was just like, oh my God, it's the fucking mug pisser. So yeah, like I was just like, what are you doing here? No, I don't want any part of this. So I go back outside, and the one guy was like, he's like, "We hear about the most fucked up chick ever." And of course, Hatcher already knows her. I'm like, "This ain't my fault, man. It's not my fault that she knows me, bro. Fuck you, dude." Like, Juggum, I don't even want to know where it goes after she's filled the mug of Kool-Aid stuff. I was just like, if this is the opening act, I'm out. I'm out. That's your showstopper, honey. The show has stopped. I didn't know I didn't know you could instantly turn me off like this. Like, I've learned something new about myself, because up until you did this, there was no part of me that could have conceived anything other than me railing the hell out of you and just, yo, this is the best thing ever. And I was so, like, just bitter about the whole thing. I'm like, what a waste of time. Why, universe? Why did you do this to me? Like, so she must have done all kinds of weird, crazy stuff. And then she ended up like, the mug pisser ended up pregnant like a year later. And I was like, oh my God, that baby, like, you're not a smart lady. This baby's going to have a terrible life. Ball Valgan, at least that's probably the best way for her to find someone that's perfect for her and just as crazy. Yeah, you know what? You're right. I mean, having the courage, like, she was so confident about it. She was so confident about it that she must have done this to people who must have given her standing ovations. Yeah! And it's just like, no. Fucking no. No. What are you doing? Do you want to see something? Yeah, I want to see my dick in your mouth, bitch. Like, what? What? Millmaster, what are you talking about? Oh! Yeah, my one buddy. No, was it my buddy or was it his buddy? I'm not 100% sure. I think it might have been my friend's buddy. So I can't say whether it was him or one step removed. But I'm glad what happened to him didn't happen to me, because you're right. That is worse. That is worse. This chick. Okay. Guy's plowing a chick. His guts start to go. Like, he just can't control it. To the point where he ends up crapping on the bed, like, while he's banging this chick. And he runs off to the bathroom. I'm sorry, you know? Comes back, she's fucking rolling around in it. Turns out she put laxatives in his food. And, like, this was her end goal. And she wanted him to stick around. And I'm just like, this is insane. That is... I'll take the mug pisser over that any day of the week. 100%. 100%. Larry is so appetized by my stories that he's going to get a snack right now, even though it's storming out. Larry, you need to reevaluate your life and your mind, buddy. Just saying it. I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm saying that as, like, genuine concern for you. You know? If that stuff was appetizing to you. Man, oh man. I ended up in a lot of different situations. A lot of craziness. as I got older, I learned how to avoid a lot of the craziness and keep life calmer and avoid more of the wackadoodles and stuff, right? So, Kevin, don't even fucking remind me, bro. Don't remind me that the last installment of the fucking Duskborn story leads to everybody escaping, but Valvagoth going, it's all good though, because I've got loot. He just pulls loot out. He has loot. Where's Jason Vraska? Fuck us. They're not even going to tell us. It's like, what is this? Why does every villain just live and stick around? Like they're going to reuse them even. Like they will. Like, look at Ixalan. Alclazots and the Myco Tyrant both just got away to evil another day, making no real impact. There are these big problems. Now they're over in the corner. Whatever. Who cares? Like, can the Planeswalkers, or the heroes now, because it's not just Planeswalkers, can the heroes, like, actually fucking definitively win ever? Even in Bloomborough, Glarb and Cruel Claw were just like, we're running away. Although that makes more sense in the lighter toned Bloomborough style story, where nobody really dies in that, right? It's all just, ooh, be afraid, kids. But, like, Duskborn is gritty, horror, whatever. And then Nashi being given the Fate Shifter for no reason. Wanderer's like, here, take my Fate Shifter. Isn't it carved into your likeness, you stupid bitch? Well, shut up. But what would that do for him? It's carved in your likeness, isn't it? Didn't Aminatau give you all Fate Shifters that were carved in your likenesses? Don't worry, the fact that I'm giving it to Nashi actually doesn't have any impact on the story because he doesn't use it or nothing. And it's like, then why did you even bother mentioning this? So Tamio can go, you can't use that on me. Of course you can't use it on her. It wasn't fucking made for you, stupid bitch. And then Valgavoth knocks down the Wanderer with his wing. Just knocks her over with the wing. And then the story goes, oh, Nico cuts the Wanderer out of the cocoon. What cocoon? What cocoon? What? I scrolled back up to go, did I miss the part of the story where she got put in the cocoon? And I rolled back up and read it and was like, it just says he knocked her down and it's going to bite her. How is she in a cocoon? What's happening? You told us that she used her sword to cut through all the webbing he was spitting at her. So it can't... what is going on? What did I miss? Like, and then when he pulled out loot at the end, I was like, oh, I hate this. I hate this so much. I hate this so much. The last installment of the story, it took him 30 fucking 1 minutes to read it all out. My video is 8 minutes, and it's only 8 minutes because I put the intro in. I put the intro into that one because it was going to be under 8 minutes, and I'll be like, I'll be fucked if this video's not going to be 8 minutes and have a mid-roll. I'm telling you that right now. So I put the intro in so the video would make it to 8 minutes so that I could put a mid-roll in. I was like, no. So yeah, Valgavoth just pulls out loot. I have loot, and it's like, why do you have loot? Like, how did you get loot? Jace just like, why is loot here? It's so dumb. It's so dumb. So dumb. Not Thunder Junction level of dumb, but like I'm sitting there reading it and I'm like, this is a ghost trap from Ghostbusters. Zimone comes in with this box that she's been carrying for however long, and she never used it before, but now all of a sudden she's using it to pull humans into it, like it's a fucking ghost trap that can hold humans in it, and she's also using it to make fractal armor on Tyvar. And it's just like, why did you not do this at any point earlier? Well, it's so we can have the line where Tyvar goes, behold the power of math. Ugh. Like, I like Tyvar, and I enjoyed, like, a bunch of the big, dumb proclamations, but that part of the story was just like, bro, eat my ass. Brent, you can't risk your license with them substances, buddy. So I'm glad that the main story is over with. The last installment was very clunky as far as I'm concerned. It was very like it's like they awoke in a room and nobody was there. Suddenly the cult leader was there. Also all the other cultists and Winter and stuff. And it's like, okay, and they're tied to chairs. In the last installment you had them tied to poles. Why are they tied to chairs now? They had them tied to poles. Why are they tied to chairs? Also, how did Tyvar and Zimone get in here when Winter dropped a gigantic granite slab to seal the whole place off? Like, if Tyvar smashed his way in here, we'd have to hear it, wouldn't we? How did they get... How are they here? How did they get in here? What is any of this? What is any of this? This is fucking horseshit stupidity. Jess, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean I act like I talk to the writers? I don't know the fucking writers of these stories. Heavy Metal, you got a new TV and guitar. Oh, have fun. Have fun with your new gear. It's nice to get new enjoyable possessions. That's right, Larry. Real quality writing at Wizards of the Coast. The Bloomborough story was the least flawed story I've seen in a considerable amount of time. Like a considerable amount of time. It didn't like... It had a bit of pacing flaws, but it didn't have like terrible logic flaws and inconsistent nonsense writing where you just go, what? What? That's never a good feeling where you're like, I've read this whole story and what you're telling me right here doesn't make sense with what you already told me. Like, you wrote this all. You're the one who wrote this. Why were they tied to pillars and now they're tied to chairs? What's this about? What are you talking about? What's going on? Oh, well. Oh, well. It sucks as somebody who really likes stories enough to have a lore channel that they just fuck it up. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying now, Jess. Now I get what you mean. Fair enough. Yeah, that is what it looks like. Absolutely. Absolutely, buddy. That's what's going on. Because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Why are they here? How are they here? What's with the... Oh, they got ghost traps. Oh, no. Zircon, now that I've made it through the whole story, you can start watching. Yep. You can go and check the whole thing out. It's all right. It's all right. It has some interesting elements. They really like... Valgavoth shows up really quickly and gets defeated really quickly. Zircon, if I bail, then you have to read the Wizards version. That's one of the things that I think about, actually, when I'm doing the lore stuff. I go, look, man, you take this suffering onto yourself. Much like I am the fucking Jesus Christ of magic lore. I'm fucking pegged up on the cross, bleeding out, collapsing under my own weight, and I do it for you, wearing my crown of pages. What do I think about no consequences part of the storytelling? Where, for example, something was built in to protect Nico from dying, or Jace and Vraska finding a way to beat Phyrexian Oil. Well, there's a big difference between Jace and Vraska beating Phyrexian Oil in that they didn't really explain that at all, and there's no reason for it. The reason that Nico doesn't die is because Aminatau gives them all a token that'll allow them to rethink one decision that leads to their death, which I actually like conceptually. It is a fun way to have, like, we can have a death sequence for our like main characters that we have no intention of killing off. So it gives you a little space to play with it. But ultimately, it didn't really feel like anything because it was like And then Nico got stabbed through the brain. Nah, just kidding. They went, oh, that's a bad idea. Like, the concept is cool, but the execution is not super exciting. You know what I mean? For most of it. There might have been one where I was like, oh, but like, ultimately, it felt pretty empty what they did that way. Vraska not being Phyrexianized anymore. Like, on the website even, they wrote, somehow Vraska got rid of being a Phyrexian. They didn't even bother to care about it. Like, the Phyrexian oil stuff was some of the sloppiest, most nonsensical, where it was just like, if you get like even a drop on you now, it can take you over like nothing, bro. And so they're like, check it out. This elder dinosaur has been converted to a Phyrexian. He got some oil on him. And then Zatalpa comes down and like bites that dinosaur's head off. Just bites Atali's head off. And like Atali's Phyrexian-filled oil blood just pours all over Zatalpa, into Zatalpa's mouth, all that shit. Doesn't get turned into a Phyrexian. There's no consistency with it. They wanted to be like, oogity buggity, nothing will ever be the same. And they're all turned into Phyrexians. And then they had Nahiri just pick the Phyrexianness off of her or whatever. But her arms were blades. Like, it was just like, how? And then they had all the Planeswalkers despark. But because they had particular artwork with Nahiri and a Hedron breaking, they went, okay, so this massive event happened that fucked up all these Planeswalker sparks. Except Nahiri also lost her spark at the same time. But unlike all these people who lost their spark because of the Great Planar event, Nahiri lost her spark because she put it in a rock and then accidentally dropped the rock and it broke. That's what happens to Nahiri's spark. That's how Nahiri gets de-sparked. Everybody else has their sparks torn away as an effect of the Silex blast detonating inside the Blind Eternities. And Nahiri just lost it because you can't even pull your sparks out, but she does. And she puts it in a rock and then goes, oops, and drops it and it breaks. Butterfingers! Like, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. Jess says, if I give you $1, will you watch the Jackpot trailer? See if it's a movie for me. Sure, Jess. Why not, buddy? Why not? You find it so good you got to take breaks from it? Wait, how does that work? Like, if I really like a movie, I want it to go on forever, but I certainly don't want breaks in it. You know what I mean? I want to get it in one continuous flow. I love to watch movies non-stop in one entire sequence, because otherwise it can change the experience, right? And you might walk away thinking a movie's a good movie if you stop at a certain point. Like if you stop Arcadian at half an hour through, you'd be like, this is actually pretty interesting, kind of. And then if you let it go all the way through, Flaming Wheels of Dog Shit, this is the dumbest crap ever. I call it being law-abiding citizen. Carly told me to watch that movie, and I watched the first 30 minutes and was like, this is all right. And then I came back and watched the rest of the movie, and it got really dumb. And it was almost like we paused it at the transition from it being a movie that made sense, and I'm like, okay, into what? This sucks. This is dumb. You know? Heavy Metal, you got a Shieldred today? Nice. What up, Amiibo? How's it going, buddy? Millmaster, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. See, I trust Jess has good intentions. You will want me to watch some completely insane garbage nonsense, right? I'm not falling for it. You keep advocating for films I definitely don't want to watch, and I know it. I know it. Amiibo, you thought of an idea? Me hosting a D&D one-shot. Whoever's the last lord of the board is the one who gets to make choices for the character. That's an interesting concept. What up, Thompson? How you doing, buddy? It's about a quest for Bigfoot. I don't know, Millmaster. I don't know. Conjure, have I seen the menu? I have seen the menu. That is the one about the chef, and the ending involves asking for just a cheeseburger. That was an interesting film. That was an interesting one. Gooner, I've seen Moonfall. I've seen it, or at least part of it. It didn't really, didn't really do much for me. All right, hold on. Let me note that down, Jess, since I said I'll check it out. I'll check out the Jackpot trailer. Yeah, the menu was. I like interesting premises for films. I told you guys we were gonna do a movie video. Me and Carly. We sat down and recorded 2 of the movies. So we sat down for an hour so far, and we talked about Arcadian and Bird Box. And we're gonna finish off with Longlegs. We got to record that third part of it, but Carly's already started editing it, and I've seen the first 6 minutes. At one point, I become a wizard in it, and there's already a number of fun little jokes and shit in it. So I think it's going to work out pretty well, honestly. Amiibo, I know who those guys are, but no, I don't watch anybody play Magic, especially on Arena. I have zero interest in watching videos of people playing Magic, bro. It's like, it's not for me. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what deck they're playing. I don't give a shit how they play it, you know? That's not interesting to me. Sandwich, am I ever going back to medieval times? I feel like gut reaction is like, no, never. But truthfully, if 10 years from now it has a bunch of rave reviews, maybe. The way they changed the story to make it fit into the current modern political structure really ruined it, along with the fucking whole like mesh nets that you can't properly see through. So if that shit's still going on, there's zero chance I would go. Zero chance. But if it got better, then, I mean, I loved medieval times until until my last visit. It was this premier high level thing to me, and it fell down to Hey, what up, Desolator? How you doing? You swept through an arena draft? Nice. Millmaster Medieval MMA. What the hell is that? What is that? Demet, you got some new dual lands. Nice, buddy. What up, yeah? What up, Red Death? What's going on, Tube? What's up, Eclipse? What's up, Jojo? What's going on? I guess Desolator just finished his stream. Just finished some arenafying, huh, bro? I don't really play Arena online like for people to watch. I play it like every day. I usually play for an hour or two every day, but you know, I'm not doing it for other people. I'm doing it for me. I'm playing some Arena, having a good time, not worrying about shit. Mostly I've been playing that green-blue deck because I like it. I like slapping out all the lands. I love me some Bristly Bill. Bonnie Paul scratches that I've got Gigantor creatures itch, right? So, pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Desolator, you're the greatest Eldraine draft you ever lived. Back-to-back sevens. Nice, buddy. I can't remember when it was when I was playing way more and getting a bunch of draft wins. Might have been around like Corset 2019. Tube, my bones hurt. That's the line, bro. Medieval combat is like armored MMA. No, it's not, bro. MMA is where like dudes put on the like almost the equivalent of like tighty whitey boxer shorts, and then they hold each other down and like grind on each other while slapping each other in the sides, going, "Submit to me! Submit to me!" MMA is like weird hugging, you know? The only time that I really watched any of the MMA stuff is like way back in the day, like 30 years ago, when back when I started playing Magic. Actually, I remember all this stuff kind of rolling together, and like they would just have UFC on because I would never watch this shit on my own. I don't give a fuck. There's way better stuff to watch than a couple of guys hitting each other. It's boring. It's like, boxing, boring. MMA stuff, boring. But the old UFC was fucking crazy. It was crazy. I remember a fight, like the one I remember the most is between a guy who looked like he was the size of Andre the Giant, and the other guy was about the size of Jean-Claude Van Damme. So there was a big size difference. But you thought to yourself, well, I mean, the guy who's smaller must have some real level of skill that they're pairing these guys off. But the Andre the Giant guy just whipped the dog shit out of the other guy. He was beating the hell out of him. And then the ref stopped the match to be like, "Hey, are you okay?" to the fucking other guy. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm okay. I want to keep going." And then Andre the Giant just went back to beating the living piss out of him for a little bit before the judge is like, "This fight's over. This fight's over." Like, I was just like, this is insane. I can't believe they allowed this shit. Like, that dude must have lost multiple teeth and everything. He was like, even in the roughest boxing, shit was nothing compared to that. It was just so absurd, and that's where the entertainment value came from. I don't particularly gain enjoyment from people hitting each other and getting hurt, but the over-the-top nature of it was definitely something to see. But that was short-lived in terms of them doing it and me having any interest. So I only saw it tangentially, because it's not for me. I don't really care about it. Desolator, what about women's MMA? Oh, I don't know that much about it, but I'm willing to study it in depth. I'm willing to pause at certain frames and fucking zoom and enhance so that I can appreciate women's MMA from every angle, right? Because I support women's sports especially. So, yeah, 100%. 100%. What up, Merfolk Bear? How you doing? How you doing? What block had the best Magic storyline in graphic novels? The comic books? I don't know, man. I don't know. Gooner, what music do I like? Bro, I like so many different kinds of music that it's usually easier to narrow it down to what I don't listen to. Like, I don't listen to opera music, really. I don't listen to country music, although really, really, really old school country is not nearly as, it's not like intolerable like the new stuff is. I just wouldn't really listen to it. But if you go back to the Conway Twitty days of country music, I can respect it as a music art without it being for me. But my tastes range all over the place. Actually, last night, me and Carly had been on a stretch watching movies, but she wanted to play this one Steam game that she's into right now. So I was like, yeah, just go ahead. And I decided that I would just kind of listen to some random new music and let YouTube take me on a journey where I'm just going to side click on songs and like wander my way through them. And I found some really interesting shit all over the place. Some of it is like Japanese Mo stuff. There was one that the start of it was Finnish people chanting, and like I was like, what is this? This is amazing. So my musical tastes are wild and all over the place because I'm kind of crazy myself, right? I don't have like a narrow little strip when it comes to this is just what I listen to. I listen to grungecore butt metal. That's what I should have said. That's what I should, instead of giving this big long sprawling answer. I listen to gutcore butt metal. You can't even say it's not a thing because everything's a thing now, right? DJ Longhair, how you doing, buddy? You know what else I don't like is jazz. Most jazz is crap, and the jazz that isn't crap is not like... Jazz is improvisational, and most of that is crap. Just like if people, instead of constructing sentences, just said random words. It's like, sorry, man, I'm not down with this. I seem like a Weezer guy. Yep, I had a couple of different Weezer albums. Weezer's great. Weezer's great. That's right, JoJo Butt Grunge, 100%. So yeah, the music that I listen to is all over the place, and I found, I think, about 30 different songs that I really enjoyed, and then some ones that I hadn't heard in a while, like some stuff from Snail's House and whatever. I was like, oh, I haven't listened to this in like a considerable amount of time. Some of the stuff really impressed me, and some of it I decided to go back and listen to again, and like, oh, we'll see which ones are good, and there's some of them that aren't going to make the cut. But it had been a long time since I actually... It was one of the most relaxing times I've had in the last X number of months. Just listening to music for a few hours, just laying back, closing my eyes, not looking at whatever images they associated with it and whatever, because I'm not looking to have a story told, like a music video or whatever, that can imprint a meaning of what this is supposed to be. I just want to experience the music for what it is. And it was sweet, man. I had a good time. I'm going to do that more often. I also realized that as I get older, there's no way to remember all the music that I like and what. It's the same way like you find old mixtapes that you made, old CDs you burned, stuff like that, and you're like, bro, I forgot about these songs. I forgot they even existed. There's so much music that I've just like lost from my brain. So now I'm trying to like keep definitive lists, where it's just like I got all this different stuff. I don't know how successful I'll be, but I got a book where I'm writing it down. And on top of that, finding a bunch of new random stuff I haven't heard. And there's so many different songs that all have all these different crazy remixes. And it's like, I don't care for the original, but then the remix is awesome. I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, there's a bunch of random songs remixed by Louis the Child that I like totally vibe on. And it gave me the feeling of the old Signal days. I used to listen to the Signal. It was a radio program here in Canada. And it came on at 10 o'clock every night. And it would be just like random, unexpected music that was... I mean, sometimes I didn't care for it, but there was a bunch of really interesting, good music that I found that way. And the host said absurd things to describe the songs. Like this song is like driving along a really hilly road and all this. Like just the first time I fucking heard she was just like, and that was Lewis takes his shirt off. And like, I was like, what is this? And she just started saying crazy shit. And I'm like, what even is this program? But I was hooked, man. I was hooked. I would listen to it every night. Turn the fucking lights down, just vibe on some new music. The fucking DJ saying some fucking out there shit. Not stupid though, not random crazy, but you listen, it's like, this is kind of crazy. Kind of fucking crazy, right? Great. It was so great. I loved it. I was so disappointed when they announced the show was ending. But she did 3 farewell shows in different parts of Canada, and like parts of each of the different audiences from that were recorded and woven together for the final episode of it. And she went to like this fucking far-flung lighthouse to do the final broadcast. But I got to be a part of the Toronto final show. I went to the fucking CBC. We got tickets to it, and it was awesome. It is the most polite and well-behaved audience I've ever been a part of. It was crazy. It was crazy. I really loved that show, and it's really neat to get to be there for the end of it, you know? Juglum, I do not know Dr. Demento. Never heard of him. Jess, you save your songs and favorite on Chrome? See, I've had like stuff like listed in just different places, saved on bookmarks or whatever, but then the computer just abruptly dies from something and you're just, oh, well, I can't access that stuff anymore, right? So I've just started to like catalog movies and music and stuff. And the movie list is like, it's a list of movies to watch, but it's also going to be a list of movies I have watched just through the process of watching the movies. So I check them off as I watch them. Womp, 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 womp. I've been having a lot of fun with the movies recently. Desolator, you like German death reggae? I'm sure pretty much every genre has some good songs, but that doesn't mean that people can appreciate them most of the time. It also doesn't mean people can find them, right? So I don't go looking for particular genres of music. I will just pick random things along the side and just go through it. Or sometimes I'll just leave YouTube running after I've got, oh, I'm listening to this random Japanese anime intro. I'm going to get the original song for Mashal, because who's the best? I'm the best. Oh, yeah. That is because it's a banger. So you go and get that, and then, you wander off, and YouTube's played through a couple songs, and it just starts to chain you down a road of randomness. And I've found a bunch of awesome stuff that just, like, some of it makes you think, some of it just makes you feel energetic, some of it is more somber. There's a whole range of different emotions that they evoke, and some people have such incredible voices, like absolutely, you just listen and you're like, wow, your voice is so good, this is awesome. It's such an inviting thing to listen to. Jess, how do I do it? It just happens, man. YouTube suggests videos and it just plays into them. Zircon, you can't do music on YouTube because it'll fuck up your recommendations. I found that even though I spent hours last night listening to music on the same computer that me and Carly watch all our YouTubery on, that when I opened it up at dinner, it wasn't offering me songs. It was just offering me shows. So I don't know how much that, I'm not saying, because who knows exactly how all this works, but from my experience, you'd be fine. You'd be fine. Or just create a different account to listen to the music through. But I don't know, man. I like it. I like it. You can find all kinds of crazy stuff. Not everything's a winner, but you just listen and see what you vibe on. Larry, you got ahead of the storm. All right, nicely done, buddy. You're a storm runner. Yeah, it was awesome listening to music for a couple hours straight, bro. I didn't realize how much I was going to enjoy myself. DJ, your feed is magic, music, and lame politics. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have any of that. YouTube doesn't bother showing me political shit because it knows I won't check it out at all. They're just like, here's the stuff we think you'll watch. And it's like, yeah, you guys got a pretty good guess. You're not showing me a bunch of crap I don't want. That kind of stuff is enough to make me just go, I'm going to close that. That's why I like shut down all the... when you open up Windows and they're just like, hey, we have a news tab built into this. And I'm like, no. It's like, but we want to show you a bunch of political stuff. Oh, hell no. Get that off of my screen, right? Same thing with the the Google phone when you swipe over and it's like, here's the Discover tab. Discover everything that sucks and a bunch of political shit. Nah, go fuck yourself. Shut that off. And like, are you sure? It's like, yeah, no, I'm sure. It's better without it. It's better without it. Zircon, oh, you used the YouTube Music app and then you went back to YouTube and it showed you nothing but music. Thompson, you like the old Grateful Dead stuff from the 70s and 80s. For me, YouTube originally, all I thought YouTube was for was to go on to watch music videos. That's it. I was like, that's what YouTube is for. YouTube is where you go to hear music you haven't heard or to see old music videos. That was it. YouTube was just used for music. Like Carly was the one who showed me, oh no, there's actually shows and stuff that people make you can watch on this. And I'm like, huh, interesting. I mean, wouldn't have ended up here now if it wasn't for all that, I suppose. So that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Golden. Yup, I sure am Canadian, buddy. You got it bang on. Jess, you're getting into YouTube drama and allegation videos, so have fun with those. Most of them are so dull. They're just boring. It's a boring person talking about another boring person, and usually about something that doesn't matter. But they're going to act like it's a big deal, and I just can't, and I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, so much of it just feels so dull to me. The people doing it aren't very entertaining. And you got to sit there and just listen to them take forever to get to the non-point about, okay, listen, guys, so... And it's like, oh, God. Can I just actually know what this is about? Oh, it's about nothing. Again, why am I not surprised? Who cares? You know? There's definitely some wild stuff going on out there, though. They had the fucking... I saw... I don't really watch a lot of murder videos, right? Where they're just like, and then the police were shocked to find 18 butts in his backyard. Human butts, as far as the eye could see. Rotting cheeks littered the lawn. Oh, but what they would find next would shock even the most stalwart amongst them. Going down into the basement, they found a sex doll made out of paint cans, and it was full of butt cheek meats. You know what I'm talking about? Like murder channels like that, right? I don't watch a lot of that, but every once in a while, right? So one of those, now I'm going to preface this by saying I know like so little about this stuff. But, like, there was an episode from the one channel that's all about murder stuff. And I'm like, wait, is that Sonichu Chris guy? Chris Chan, right? And it's like Chris Chan getting arrested. And I was like, what is this? And, like, the last I had seen of this was when I first heard of it a million years ago, where he's just some fucking kid. And he writes, like, his little Pikachu Sonic fan fiction comic strip thing, and that was it. That's all I knew. And then I was just like, because I don't watch the stuff on people like whatever, but this has made its way into my feed by dint of being on one of those murder channels. So I clicked on it, and it was just like, oh, he's changed into this fucking lady now named Christine, and he's being arrested by the police, and he's talking about a convergence of universes and how he's married to a spectral version of his created character. And I was just like, this person is very mentally ill. Like, the delusions that they're saying are crazy. And I was just like, this is wild. And there was a bunch of people outside of the apartment when they were getting arrested, right? And they were all just like, like cheering and everything, and what it's just like, that's insane. All of it is insane. The fact that people are basically like staking out, stalking it up, the whole getting arrested and ending up on a murder channel and all of it, where I was just like, this is insane to me. This is insane. I can't imagine how rough it's got to be somebody who just made a, like, you made a stupid little comic when you were a kid, and then the internet became obsessed with you, like, big time. And then because of your personality, you started to just garner more attention, but in a very negative way. And then you got all this going on, and I'm like, I feel so bad like, for this clearly mentally ill person. And then at the very end, it's like they explain why the arrest happened. And it was like, I was like, what? Banging his mom? That's what? He got arrested for allegedly banging his mom? What? What? Like, the whole time, because I watched it, because I was like, this is crazy. They have their little, like, necklace of their own created character and stuff, and they're talking to the police and all of it, and I'm like, this is just so wild, and the spectacle nature of it is sad, and I feel bad for this person. And then the episode just goes, well, they arrested him because he probably banged his mom. And I'm just like, what? Wait, what? Oh, man. Oh, that just adds more to the mental illness thing. It's too crazy. It's too crazy. It's too crazy. DJ Longhair with his mom, you don't feel bad? I feel bad for anybody who seems that disconnected from reality. Genuinely. Like, life isn't easy. It's fucking difficult for everybody. And there's all kinds of different things that can lead you to be unhinged, right? But when somebody's that dislocated from reality, you only get one go at this life, and a bunch of it's being eaten up by your brain not working right. That's rough. That's rough. And then everybody spectacling on it hardcore and stuff. It's just like, I mean, I looked at it too, so whatever. I guess I'm part of the fucking problem too, but I don't, just the whole thing made me go, this is so rough, man. This is so rough. That's crazy. Carly, living with me is what made you unhinged. It's true. That bitch is crazy. She used to be normal and now she's heavily medicated. Hey, truth hurts. Stop damaging my self-esteem, Carly. Oh, man. So that's, I don't know. I just saw that and was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, I'm glad that I just do what I want to do on here. Talk about when I talk about movies, games, fucking do the streams, talk about magic, all that. I'm glad I don't have to deal with having like a shit ton of people interested in me, specifically interested in trolling me, and also being like dealing with severe mental illness at the same time, right? That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. Scorpageist, what always gets you in the murder shows is you have someone who goes, so-and-so is such a nice person. You'd love to see somebody say, I always knew that dickbag was trouble. I feel like you get that on these channels, man. People just saying these people or whatever. Not like, I think what you're talking about happens more with the television versions of them. But the internet ones have like looser rules they abide by. All right, Carly, now that you've destroyed my spirit, you may go. Man, that's nuts. That's nuts. Juggle 'em, I ain't making no Maiku Hatsune medallions. Forget that. Forget that. Those little super chat videos that I made, I'll keep those till the end of the year or whatever, because Wizards still has to do their fall and winter rollouts. So they will become relevant once again. And then after that, they will become a distant memory unless Wizards, out of the blue, somehow does more Hatsune stuff further down the line. Maybe they get the more rights to the license or whatever. Who knows? Who knows what they're going to do? I don't. It's all IP soup now, man. You know? Magic used to be, here we go, swords and sorcery, and now it's here we go, whatever, man. We're gonna put typewriters in. Do you guys want check it out? Typewriters and golf carts. Magic the Gathering. You gotta be a type carter, all right? We'll have golf club equipment. It's like, okay. Sure, why not? Why not? Here's my cell phone. Here's a beeper. And then he looked at his beeper. Fucking, what's his name? Tyvar's got a fanny pack. Tyvar's got a fanny pack in that artwork where they show him as part of like the 5-person Scooby-Doo gang. Zircon, you think I should license them Hatsune Miku? Cat girls, they're making a Hatsune Miku fitness boxing. I don't know what that's for. And this is the first I've ever heard of it because I barely knew what the hell that even was before Magic started making cards of her. DJ Longhair, you're stoked for the car vehicle set? Well, that makes one of us, buddy. I don't care very much about the idea of a race through the Omen Paths. And remember when they told us about the Omen Paths at first? Oh, these will be rare and dangerous ways that people can travel on occasion. What we actually mean is it's just a super highway for anybody to go wherever, whenever, and oh, Niv Mizzet secured all the Omen ports or whatever. Okay, we're done, whatever. It's just like, okay. Okay. Pretty wild, man. Pretty wild, the random crap that's getting slapped on top of Magic. And it's only going to get goofier as they come out with more outlandish ideas. Hey, I don't even know. I don't even know, man, because I could never have predicted a Magic death race set. That's what they want you to think. It's going to be like a death race. Nobody gets, well, I mean, nobody's even really going to get hurt very much, but it's a death race. It's like, okay, you're gonna have a magic spell that's like hit by a truck. Beep beep, I'm driving over you with my big wheels. Beep beep, monster juice. God. Oh. Kevin, as I just said it, actually, I did think to myself, it does have an easy crossover with Mad Max, so I wouldn't be surprised. Larry, Mad Max seems more likely than Fast and Furious, but that's just a gut guess, and I guess Fast and Furious could also theoretically they can have an ability called family. The Fast and Furious movies, ultimately, most of them aren't very good. You know? There's a couple that can be entertaining. Most of them aren't very good. Me and Carly saw a bunch of it just because when we went to Medieval Times for my birthday or whatever, the hotel room, like they had like a 24-hour Fast and Furious marathon. Most of the time we were there, the one channel was just playing Fast and Furious movies. And so it's just like, oh, okay, I think they might have kept playing them too, like over and over. It might have been like a longer than one day thing, but we watched so much during that time frame, and it was of the sped up variety where they speed it up just a little. It's funny watching them do that because I remember when they started to do that on TV a long time ago. But when we watched CSI, when we watched CSI, the scenes where there weren't people talking or whatever, there's people driving across the street, they went by like they sped up people's walking and stuff. It's hilarious. They're like, we got to make more space for ads, and then it's like 5 minutes of ads of scam stuff. Are you crippled and can barely walk? Buy our fucking pills made from clams from Australia. And then they show a lady like kind of limping along, and then she goes, I took the pills and I'm good now. And then they show her like running, and like, this is awful. This is awful. What a fucking scam. What a scam. So yeah, we got exposed to a bunch of the Fast and Furious movies that way, and then we came back and tried to like watch them in sequence and whatever, and you just kind of lose interest. I don't find Vin Diesel to be a terribly compelling actor, but I did enjoy him in that. I don't remember what the movie's called. The Darkness, something like that. It's like he plays. That's where he plays. There's the Chronicles of Riddick, but that Riddick character comes from the movie before that, right? And that's where the character actually generates from. And that was a fun one. Pitch Black, that's it. Joe got it. That's the name of the movie. It's called Pitch Black. So Pitch Black, I enjoyed him in that. I was like, okay, like I found that to be an enjoyable movie overall. I assume Carly's seen it. I'll have to find out. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I remember enjoying it when I did. I was like, okay, this is a cool concept, right? The whole darkness thing, and Buddy's got his like eyes filed from being in a prison or whatever. And that moment where the chick has to choose whether she wants to like abandon the people or not, that moral quandary moment. I remember all that. I remember enjoying it. But in the Fast and Furious movies, whatever, right? And I don't even remember being overly impressed with his abilities in like the follow-up Riddick movies or movie. I don't even know if there's more than one. But it just like, it went from like, I'm an underground prisoner, or I'm a criminal who has night vision, is basically what it is. And then what's it called? Like the next movie, he's like, I'm actually part of a race that was prophesized to slay an emperor, so all my kind has been wiped out. We're called Furians or whatever. And it's just like, sorry, wait, I'm confused. I thought you were just like a criminal who had escaped from prison who was out for himself. Yeah, but also I'm the destined ender of a fucking evil empire from a fucking entirely slain race. And it's like, wait, the scope that you're putting this on is like way too big and insane now. And your enemy wears the helm of the host, and I don't know, like, I don't know what you're going for with this, but this is stupid. What up, Galindo? Millmaster, I saw Boiler Room, and I remember enjoying it, but I can't remember anything about it. I remember I watched it a long time ago when I worked in call centers, and I would tell people, like, don't trust this place. They could pack this whole thing onto the back of a truck in one day, Boiler Room style. But that's it. I have like no real memories of that movie, and I believe I put it on the list to get rewatched because it's been forever, and Carly definitely hasn't seen it. She definitely hasn't seen it. So I don't remember. I don't remember if Vin Diesel's even in the movie, you know? Galindo knows. Galindo knows if he was. Escaped prisoner to Chosen One, Skyrim. Yeah, but like you didn't play an entire other game where he was just regular guy the whole time and then turns into the Chosen One in the second game, right? Like, if you played, I don't know, what the first Halo game or whatever it is. Now, I don't know enough about these games. I probably shouldn't be using an example. But you fucking play Halo and you got, what is it, Master Chief or whatever? And he's like a soldier, right? But like, what if in the second installment you found out that he actually is the fucking reincarnation of God? And that he has to go and fucking fight a space dinosaur. You know what I mean? You'd be like, he's just like a soldier or whatever in like a, you know, no, actually he's God. What? Yeah, he's got to fight a space lizard god. What? Like, that's that level. With Skyrim, it's a different beast. Skyrim is awesome, by the way. That game blew me away when I first played it. I got hooked. I was like, yeah, man, this is great. So much going on. So much attention to detail. You can read the books and stuff. Like, it's great. It's great. It felt very much like going on like a Dungeons and Dragons style adventure. Where there's sometimes just scenes set where you can like figure out what happened here. You know, it's like, oh, these people got killed by the vampire who died over here or whatever. And there's no quest about it and there's no reward that you get other than just the enjoyment of, yo, I figured that out. It just adds to the atmosphere of the world, right? Like Skyrim is awesome. One of my favorite games of all time, I would say. I put it on that list. Zircon Oblivion is where I got hooked as well. The Assassin's Guild was so awesome. Like, so awesome. I loved it. I loved the Assassin's Guild. It was so cool. The specialized deaths and things, all of it. I really liked that. All right, my friends, it's time for me to get going. Thanks for coming and hanging out. We shall get back together again soon. But, fucking safe travels and all that shit. Bye for now.